So, Nintendo just had their big E3 presentation, and I'm still recovering from having to stay up to 1:30 in the morning to watch it here in Australia. Anyway, in it we got a really good look at some new stuff, including new Smash Brothers and Xenoblade DLC, which looks really cool. It was actually pretty funny watching it because I was with some friends watching it, and I was the only one who played Xenoblade 2, so they were all had no idea what was going on and what the story was representing. And then I'm going, oh look, yeah, there's Jin. Oh look, there's Adam. Oh, this looks really cool. And they had no idea what was going on. It's also good that I found out afterwards that I think the whole DLC will be free as long as you have the expansion pass, which I do. So that'd be good. So, you think I can't wait to play it, but I might not play it. And that's kind of funny from someone who was super hyping on about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 back at last E3. Is it because Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is a bad game? No, quite frankly, I think it's one of, if not the best Xeno game. I'm still unsure whether or not it's better than the original on the Wii, but I just can't bring myself to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 at the moment. And the reason why is I think I've oversaturated the Xeno series to myself recently, just by making all these videos and constantly talking about it. I kind of just a bit sick and tired of the Xeno series at the moment. So I feel like I need to take a break from talking about Xeno games and try and talk about a few other stuff. Like, when I created this channel, I did have a plan in the long term to diversify to other video games, and I think I might start that from today. One of the other main series I am a big fan of, like my second favourite series to play when I'm not playing the Xeno series, is the Fire Emblem series. And now we got a new Fire Emblem game. Quick history with the Fire Emblem series and me. The first Fire Emblem game I played was Fire Emblem 7 on an emulator. Yeah, naughty, I know. But basically, I didn't really get onto the series until Fire Emblem Awakening on the 3DS, and since then I've played all of the Western release Fire Emblem games fully, except for Shadow Dragon. I just could not bring myself to finish that game. Yeah, we'll get back to that. But either way, I was very excited for the announcement of a new Fire Emblem game, although it is kind of annoying that the only thing we knew about this Fire Emblem game before this Direct was it was coming in 2018, and now it's been delayed to 2019 to make room for Super Smash Bros., which kind of sucks. However, I'm not too upset about that, because I felt like this year there was no real big killer game at the early part of 2018 for the Switch, and hopefully now, next year, 2019, won't have that problem, because I will have a Fire Emblem game there, which is great. But looking at the new game, it looks really cool. Looks like we've got a brand new world, so I think we're looking at potentially another Sacred Stones or Fates, a game completely separate from all the previous games in the series, although that probably won't stop characters from the previous games making cameo appearances, as they have in the previous games, probably in the form of either amiibo functionality or some DLC or something, which we'll find out on a later date. I really hope they fix the DLCs. Fire Emblem has not had good DLC in, ever. I've never touched a Fire Emblem game's DLC because I like Xenoblade, they're just not priced well. But going on to having actually talk about the game itself, one of the first things I noticed from the get-go was the new anime cutscenes they're using. Well, I shouldn't say they're exactly new. They look definitely a lot more like Fire Emblem Echoes and a lot less like Fire Emblem Awakening and Fates, which kind of upsets me because I kind of like the more smooth 3D animations as opposed to the modern 2D animations. So I'm not a huge fan of the anime cutscenes, but what I am a big fan of is the look at the gameplay. We're going back to full 3D graphics, and I am really excited. Back to what the game looked like back in the days when it was on the GameCube and the Wii with the Radiant games. Now, I know a lot of people I was listening to were really keen on getting 2D sprites, like really fluid 2D sprites, similar to what you get in some fighting games these days. But I've always been a big fan of the 3D look to the game. And also, talking about the 3D environments and characters, it looks like they're expanding the Fire Emblem Echoes dungeon crawling mechanic to basically be fully explorable of the world. So you can basically fully walk around castles and other environments now. I'm not sure how well this will be implemented, because Fire Emblem is not an exploration game. It's a turn-based tactical strategy game, so I'm not sure how well these 3D worlds are, and they're not going to be completely and completely just there for show and not really very interactive, but looks like there might be some like extra functionalities you can do. I'd say I'll probably have to have a bigger look at this when they do a bigger reveal of the game. They might be announcing some more stuff at E3 tomorrow. I don't think they announced anything for Fire Emblem today. But basically, I'm actually interested to know whether or not this game is actually going to be influenced by Echoes, because if people don't remember, Fire Emblem Echoes was a remake of Gaiden, and I was pretty sure that was going to be just a single remake, and sort of maybe that might say the remakes, and this game would be heavily based on just Fire Emblem Fates, but it seems they are taking Echoes on here, and I'm really glad about that, because Echoes is also one of my favourite Fire Emblem games. I know the map design was not very good, but for the story and character development, I loved it. Just talking about finishing up, one of the other things I really was quite curious about this game is how it looks a lot like Advance Wars. It seems like characters are no longer single characters, but actually a squad of characters, which reminds me a lot about how in Advance Wars we have squadrons that attack each other. And it leaves questions to be asked whether or not things like will your character have a weaker attack if they're on low health, which I don't think that was something in previous Fire Emblem games, which would be interesting if they implement it. Not only do they have squads, it looks like the squads have formations, much like you get in something like the Total War series, which looks like, you can spread out to avoid archer fire or close in to prevent, being charged down, and it's really good. I find it funny, actually, because speaking about Total War, just as we're getting Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Sega is creating Total War 3 Kingdoms. There seems to be a big desire for 3 Nation or 3 Empires. It's going to be funny. Anyway, I sort of hope to do a few more video game news as we come up to the release of the new Xenoblade DLC and Fire Emblem, and I think I might start doing a few Fire Emblem videos. Hopefully some of you guys might start enjoying that. In the meantime, I'll catch you for my next video.